Last video or two on Tybee along US Highway 80. This is a plaque regarding the federal batteries here on Tybee that used to stand here. And the other reason I'm here is because of that. That right there, just behind the power line, is the old grade for the Central of Georgia branch here to Tybee Island. It's now in use as a walking trail and power line right of way. But there it is, right there. Going off into the trees. As I said yesterday, the rest of the rail grade, where we're currently parked, is now in use on the island as Solomon Avenue. But here in this part, it's being used as a power line maintenance road. The fact they have this removed makes me wonder if there may have been rails still in the pavement at one time, but then again, I doubt it. The railroad was removed in the Depression due to this highway replacing it. And you gotta look real hard nowadays to try and find anything from it. Because remember, down here, the salt water and the salt air make metal pretty much disintegrate in a rather short amount of time. Much shorter than, say, in Maxey's, Georgia. So you'd have to look real hard to find even a remnant of a railroad spike or rail. But if anybody ever wanted to, or wanted to try their luck in the marsh, go for it. Just have somebody with you. I will give a little word of note to the owners or any volunteers here on the island. Is there any way to get all of these bottles and stuff up? I'm just curious. I mean, thankfully all this stuff is here in the very back of the marsh near shore, so it wouldn't be that hard to get them up, but still, for a person visiting away from the coast, this is a little concerning, you know? Just letting y'all know, that's all. Welcome to the Pinpoint Heritage Museum. This museum is in an old oyster factory here on the marsh and showcases a great deal of Gullah Geechee culture and history, as well as, I would imagine, the history of oyster farming and all out here. So this is my first time visiting the place, so I'm not going to be doing any narration, simply because I'm not that familiar with the culture, and I'd rather let the visuals show and tell more than I can. So aside from this video, there will be no narration going forward. Hope you enjoy.
Spring, summer months for the blue crab season. That seems like it's too long. No matter the time of year, they always season that. I toast the French work for both.
I'm going to try and photograph the plaques. My grandmother joined a tour that's currently going on. Dang. They're going to need to find a way to restore the mural because it's in really sad shape. Oh yeah, so this factory is celebrating its centennial. This year marks 100 years. So the mural is from the 1990s, so they need to go and try and restore it if they can. And those are restrooms, storage. I'll give them points. Those are probably new builds, but I like that they added on to what was already here. I'm going to go into wide angle and pause. Yeah. Like I said, I can't show everything in one of these videos I do, so I highly, highly recommend seeing all this for yourself. Oh yeah, sea glass. Sea glass. Oh no, that's not sea glass, that's ice and crabs and oysters. Yum. Oh yeah. And there's what the factory looked like in the 70s when it was still running. Okay. Yeah, like I said, I can't show everything, but first impressions, I'm already loving this museum in terms of how they've got everything presented. I'll try to photograph all the plaques as much as I can, but I don't really know if I'm going to be able to. So, like I said, I recommend visiting everything here for yourself, because that's the best way to experience this and the best way to learn all of this. The best way to learn anything, really, is to go out and see it in person. There's the scale where they would weigh everything. I need to see when they last I wonder when this place was last used as a factory. I'm pretty sure it likely shut down, I would imagine, 80s, 90s, or early 2000s, but I'm not sure. Oh yeah, here we go. Oh yeah, I called it. 1985. Dang. Yeah, let me pause this so I can get photos. Yeah, I just read the plaque regarding the closing of the factory. It's kind of sad reading it. This whole place brought away a life for a lot of people. It brought a good job, and well, everybody uses the term progress to say things are better. It ain't better. If anything, progress only made things worse. or just made it to where everybody had to go and get into a hurry when they really didn't need to. Work was hard, but it was a way of life, and it was one that could be depended on as long as it was taken care of. You'll see it. I'll try to put the plaques up in the beginning of the video. I'm surprised I got the closing date right. So this place closed like every other places like it. Closed in the 80s due to consequences of not caring for the environment all that much, among other things. There's the old oyster boat. There's oyster shells. In fact, all this is oyster shells here. I'll be damned. Looks like a piece of the old Tybee Railroad survives after all. Oh no. No, wait a minute. That's too high grade a rail. Stuff from Tybee would be probably about this tall. So the railhead would be at the top of my finger there. Back then. Because it was much lighter rail. Pretty sure I'm doing this out of order, but oh yeah, there's an old stove. Nice chippers. I'm going off of what they got listed, but I have seen similar machinery before. So yeah, this place sat abandoned for like nearly 25 years until it was preserved. That stove looks like one you'd see inside a train depot. It's that small. There's your cooler right there. That's what the door is. It's an old ice cooler. Crab trap, early crab trap, and another oyster boat on display. That's amazing that they still have the two boats. I'll just say it. It's better for you to come here and see all this for yourself and do the tour, because it's 100% worth it. Oh yeah, and there's the canning equipment. There's where you'd wash and soak everything. Right there. Another ice house where you'd keep the ice. Because remember, no refrigeration. I've seen these sinks. You can still find these that have been salvaged. But that causeway there is one reason the place shut down. It's because boats couldn't get over here and offload. Yeah. Gonna walk back through so I can get everything since it's numbered. Well, I had to go back this way anyhow, so that works. Oh, yeah.
One thing, mix some spice. Just like double egg. Then take that spice and just stuff it back.
Love the sound of that screen door. Yeah. So I'd imagine this is where you would wash all the seafood. Oh, yep, so I'm doing all this out of order, so whoops. Yeah. So this is where I guess everything would be sorted, shucked, and cleaned, I guess. Oh, yeah, so I see now. So they would bring the oysters and all in here, shuck them. Yep, right there. And they drop the oyster shells out. So that's why there's so many oyster shells out there on the grounds. They made for a good pathway material. Yeah. So this held a gallon of raw oysters that would then be passed, washed, cleaned, etc. So yeah, I'll try to photograph as much as I can, but I'll have to see if there's video of this place running, because there'd have to be news reports from back in the 70s or early 80s showing this place running. Because remember, that hasn't been that long ago. I mean, this place shut down the year Titanic was found. That's only been 40 odd years. You know, it'd be neat if they could, you know, maybe have at least one or two things in here back up and running for demonstration purposes. You know, maybe like at least one thing, like maybe like one bucket of oysters just to show how the whole process worked in real time. That'd probably be a really neat thing that would draw people in more, because I didn't know about this place until I looked it up, or until we saw the sign even. Well, this is a pleasant surprise for me, and I wouldn't mind coming back if they have like people coming in to do demonstrations, because that's the best way to show all this as, you know, as it was. And here's what the marsh looks like today. Now, the highway was built in 1972, 50 years ago. And this is the result. Right before it was built, this would have all still been fairly deep water marsh where you could bring boats in. That's what kept this place alive. Once that stopped, it was the beginning of the end. And there's another boat there. You can see they might still do demonstrations here just to show how this stuff was done. My grandmother and them are in the deviled crab building, and I've had deviled crab before. It's actually really, really good. Yeah, there's the chutes. So this is the bit I missed. Oh, yeah. So see, it was a cycle. See, this is how this stuff self-replenished. That's why a lot of these older fishermen, if you can still find them, that's why they still have a trade. Because they know that if you give back to the ecosystem you're harvesting stuff from, it'll constantly replenish. That's the thing with oysters. If you keep giving them a place to latch onto and grow, you'll still have a livelihood. Take it away, everything stops. See, there's the life cycle there. Well, this is a pleasant, pleasant surprise. I'm somebody who's gotten used to the marsh smell. Once the tide's out, you know, the smell you get off of the pluff mud and stuff rotting. That bothers some people, but it don't bother me none. Well, I'm glad they chose to save this place. A lot of communities would have sooner torn it down or sold it off for apartments. I'm glad that they didn't. Tide's out right now, but I'm sure it'll slowly come back in. Oh, and I just noticed, here's where the small oyster boats would tie up. And I'm sure back when this was a deep water marsh, at least around here, you'd probably get decent sized boats coming in and offloading oysters. So how it works is they'd bring the oysters in by boat and offload them. They'd chuck the unharvested oysters in the top of the chute. They would be then shucked, cracked, and what have you. And the shells would be dropped down here at the bottom of the chute here. Then the shells, all of those would be loaded back up on the boat, rowed out into the marsh, and redeposited all along where the oyster beds would be to give new oysters a place to develop. Just like that. Actually, that's an example of an oyster bed right there. I tell you, I would love, like I said, I'm sure they do demonstrations, but I'll still ask and see, you know, when they do it. I'll be resuming my phone video after this. Alright, I'm now in the Deviled Crab building, and this is where they've got more of the culture and Gullah Geechee stuff here. As I said, I want y'all to see all this for yourself in person. Don't look at my video and make that a way of saying that you've been here. It doesn't work that way. It never does. I want y'all to come here. I want y'all to come here in person. I want y'all to see all this stuff in person, and I want y'all to take your time seeing it. Use my videos only as a way of previewing the place. Okay? Because I can't show everything, and I deliberately don't show everything. Because this here is history. You know, and I want y'all to come and see it for yourself. Oh, and there's what the place looked like before they started restoring it. I'll be damned. Pardon my French, but yeah, my videos, all the ones I've filmed, are meant to be more like previews for some of these locations. I want y'all to use them as a way to preview the place, and then go and see it in person, you know? Otherwise, places like this will be lost. And that'd be a real damn shame. So they saved the murals. This is what they used to look like when compared to what they look like now behind these panels. That makes me so happy that they saved these. So here's the ones on this side. And here's the rest. Now here's the portion of the mural that's on this side of the building here, but there, all the way to there is the part that's nearly gone now. I am so happy that they saved them like this. So I'm over here where they have the crab boiling area, and I just found where the original ones were located. There was one right there, and another right there. And these are probably the steel bowls that were in the original ones. So they've rebuilt one for demonstrations, but originally when the place was running, both of them would have been set up right here and right here, offset from each other. So you could have two of them running at once, which is smart. And there's the other bowl or basin right there being used as a kind of planter. Still intact, which is good. And since it's stainless steel, it don't rust. Or if it does, that's just, it's very minimal. I love I can figure this stuff out just by looking. I'm surprised they don't uncover this so you can see the original foundations. Oh well. good.